Hola amigos de Wine News TV, les invito a conectar conmigo y con mis invitados en Wine News TV On The Go, un podcast que a su vez es un espacio donde aprenderás sobre el mágico mundo del vino a través de invitados de todas partes del mundo que nos contarán sobre sus proyectos para obsequiarnos de forma embotellada música, fuego y leones, como decía el gran maestro argentino Jorge Luis Borges en su poema Soneto al Vino. Este episodio es traído a ustedes por Planet Solar. Protege tus vinos y tus enseres eléctricos con las mejores placas solares en Puerto Rico. Las tengo en mi casa y por ello te recomiendo sus servicios. Llama a José Luis al 787-690-6444 para una consulta libre de costo y síguelo en Instagram vía JLR Planet Solar. Hola amigos de Wine News TV, el podcast. Una vez más estoy aquí en un salón donde ya me siento como en mi casa. Debería traer un colchón y acostarme aquí y que pasen los días y que el vino esté siempre a la mano. Me refiero al Almacén del Vino de Fernández, a este salón que recuerda la tienda, como les he contado, que tenían los hermanos Fernández en el viejo San Juan para finales del siglo XIX. Y estoy hoy con una invitada de lujo, digo de lujo, no solo por lo que ella representa en la empresa, sino por el producto o los productos, o mejor dicho, la bodega que representa. Vranken Pommery, que amo esta casa, amo esta bodega. He tomado por hace muchos años estas champañas espectaculares. Entrevisté a mi amiga Sara Tritant, a quien la acabo de ver hace un ratito, conversamos. Ustedes saben que ya la he entrevistado para mi programa en YouTube. Y hoy estoy con la presidenta de la división de todo Estados Unidos de Champagne Pommery, el grupo Pommery. Ella es la hija de los dueños de la bodega. We're going to switch on to English now. And I'm going to destroy your last name. And we were talking off mic about that. So Pauline, I can do that. Yeah. And the last name is
Vranken.
Vranken. Oh, it's Belgian.
You said? Yes, it's Belgium, exactly.
Vranken. Okay.
You got it pretty right.
Vranken. Pauline Vranken. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. First time in Puerto Rico, right?
First time. I'm so excited.
Why did it take so long?
When you run the United States, you have 50 different states to go to.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, this paradise was not on the list before now, but now it's definitely going to be.
It's okay. I'm teasing you. How long have you held the position?
About 2 years now.
Okay. Well, it's, you made it. You made it in time. When
you
go to a state per month, you've done it halfway. You've been here in the first 24 months. So that's good.
Yeah.
Exactly. How many states carry Pommery of the 50?
48.
48? Oh my God, that's a lot. So you're in a plane all the time.
Right? All the time.
Okay. Why based in New York? Maybe it's a dumb question. New York is probably the biggest market. Is it because of that? Or is it because where you have the highest champagne consumption?
It's one of the highest consumption market for champagne for sure. And it's also because it's very convenient for France. We're a French company, so the time difference makes it easy to work with the mother company based in France.
Of course. Tell me a little bit about your family, but before that, because you're not related to the original Pommery family, right? No. Okay, let's go back in time. And if you can share with the audience, because this is a very well-known champagne house here in Puerto Rico, many fans of Champagne Pommery. Tell us, if you can, maybe take 5 minutes to it. If you need more, let me know. If you need less, kudos. About Champagne Pommery, like the abridged history of Champagne Pommery.
For sure. So Pommery was, first of all, founded by a woman, an extraordinary woman, Madame Pommery, who built the house, started in 1836. She had an amazing vision and revolutionized the world of champagne as we know it. She did it in two ways. The first thing is she built an amazing domain that I invite you all to come and visit in France, in the city of Reims. Beautiful estate, 11 buildings that sits on 11 miles of cellars. So a huge estate that allowed her to completely transform the process of making champagne. She had every tools on site, whereas back in the day, you used to do a little bit in the vineyard, a little bit at the production site, and then back in the house for aging. With that domain, she brought everything at the same place. That allowed her to completely control the process of making champagne. And in 1874, so exactly 150 years ago, Madame Pommery decided to do something that changed the perception of champagne. She removed the sugar from it and created the first ever brut champagne.
So before that, most champagnes were sweet.
Exactly. We used to put more than 100 to 300 grams of sugar per liter of champagne.
And nowadays, what's the standard?
Closer to 10.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Substantial reduction. Okay.
It was a dessert wine back in Madame Pommery's day. And when she decided to remove all that to bring it closer to 10 grams, she created champagne as an aperitif wine. Okay. So she changed the way of consumption of champagne.
So not non-keto friendly 200 years ago.
Not really.
All right, that's fantastic. And so the Pommery family held control of the property for how many years, how many decades?
Oh, until very recently, so until the 80s.
Okay, the 80s.
Yes, the 8th cellar master of Pommery was the last descendant of Madame Pommery to be involved in the house. Unfortunately, he passed away last year, but he was the creator.
Did he have the Pommery last name?
He did, but his last name was Polignac. He was part of the Prince of Polignac, so of the royal family. Because the Pommery family has always been very linked to the King of France, which is why our iconic cuvée is called Brut Royal. And so the grandchildren of Madame Pommery were actually married to the family of the King of France. And the 8th cellar master of the house was the creator of the Cuvée Louise. The prestige cuvée of the house was the last cellar master to be from the Pommery family.
I adore Cuvée Louise. I've had it many times, and it's something that ages so gorgeously. The last one I had was with my wife for a Valentine. We love sushi, and we love pairing champagne with sushi. And I had the 04 or 02, I don't remember, Louis, and it was like a white wine, but it had like stars in it, like sprinkles of stars. You were literally tasting the stars. What a fantastic bottle of wine. Okay, so tell me a bit about your family. So when did your parents get involved with the person who passed away last year? When did they purchase the property? And by the same token, were your parents exposed to wine themselves? Were they a winery owners in their own day before buying Pommery?
So as we mentioned before, my last name is Belgium. So my dad is actually from Belgium, but had this amazing passion for the wine and spirit industry. So in his 20s, he came to France and decided to become French, and had this vision about founding his own champagne house. Back in the 70s, it was easier. The economical situation made it possible to found a champagne house. Today, it's a little bit more difficult with the institution that some houses are. But he founded his champagne house under his family name in 1976. So that's where our story with champagne starts. Then he married my mom, and together they wanted to take their passion to the next level. And
is your mom a French citizen by birth?
Oh, if you ask my mom, she would actually tell you that she's Parisian. She's not French. She's from Paris.
From Paris, okay. There's a difference, okay.
Very proud 7th generation of Paris citizens.
Beautiful, yeah.
So
most beautiful city in the world. For sure. Like nobody can argue with that. Yeah.
So they decided together to take the success that they had with our family champagne house and expand, and bought Pommery in 2002.
In 2002, okay. And so is it a full family business nowadays? Your family controls 100% of the state?
No, we're actually a traded company.
Okay.
Yes, we work with, of course, the market, but we're majoritarily a family business. So we control a little bit more than 70% of the company.
And before we get into the wines, because that's what people want to hear. So you say you were in 48 of the 50 states, and you were in Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory, of course. How many countries carry Pommery?
A little bit more than 110.
Wow.
We open new markets every year.
It's massive. Wow, that's fantastic. And the quality, again, we're tasting 3 champagnes today, and none of the bottles here will go over $100. And to me, and I was making jokes with you off camera that I'll probably say that your parents are losing money because this wine should be more expensive. I'm kidding. please don't kill me. These wines are fantastic. So 48 states, Puerto Rico, and then over 110 countries. That's a massive, massive business. Let's get into the wines, Pauline. So what's the first one we're having here? And cheers. This is
Cheers.
the loveliest sound in the world after your children's laughter. So what do we have here? This is the Pommery Blue Label, as we know it.
Exactly. The Blue Label, its name is actually Brut Royale. It's the iconic cuvée. This is actually the first Brut in history. This was the vision that Madame Pommery had in 1874 when she created the first Brut. It's a blend of the three main varietals of Champagne. Of course, Chardonnay, 33%, 33% of Pinot Noir, and then 33% of Meunier. So all three together, very balanced wine. Let's taste it.
Let's go.
This is the perfect aperitif champagne. It's so light, so easy. It can pair with anything.
It floats, caresses the palate. I mean, the aromatics here are gorgeous because nothing is too extreme, but at the same time you have that lovely note that you get from champagne, the brioche, and then you have the minerality, the citrus, the flowers, and there is always this sort of quality to champagne that reminds you a bit of honey, but then it's salty. It's not sweet. It's something that on the palate is salty, briny. It's delicious. This is a gorgeous bottle of wine, and this is around $60, $65 here at Almacén del Vino. And you hit it on the head by saying that this is perfect to start an evening with friends or to pour for your guests before you go to the main dinner or what have you. Delicious. What do you typically pair this when you're in New York, like when you're inviting friends and you want to open a bottle of this? Is it something that you also can pair with food? Because people sometimes think that champagne is for celebration, but indeed is a great food pairing wine.
Oh, definitely. It can go with pretty much anything, but I love it with a good roasted chicken or some shellfish. It resonates beautifully. But for dessert, even a chocolate cake with the Brut Royale, it resonates perfectly. Anything that makes you happy and creates that emotion that you need with your meal and your celebration, this is what it's for.
All right, let's get into the second one, and I adore this wine, the Pommery Rosé. This is a lovely, feminine, delicate, yet direct champagne that holds no prisoners with regards to its intensity of red fruit. What do we have here in terms of the coupage?
So the first thing we should note is the color.
Oh yeah, the color.
The color is so light, and this has been the signature of the Pommery Rosé since the very beginning. It's a very light rosé. So that's actually the same blend that we have with the Brut Royale, so a tier of each. But of course, we added a slight touch of Pinot Noir more. So we add actually a red wine, and so it's called a rosé of assemblage. So we add the red wine into the white wine blend to create that beautiful rosé color. And that red wine is from a very specific place in Champagne called Bouzy, which is a Grand Cru of red wines. Absolutely stunning, and that brings those delicate notes of red fruits, red berries, but just enough to have those hints, but not enough to be too sweet.
Yeah, but you get the spice, you get the herbs. Like whenever I smell this Pommery Rosé, I always get that sort of, the whiff of the red crunchy fruit that's greenish, is not ripe. It's like when you bite a green apple that's starting to turn, starting to become a little more ripe. And then you have a little bit of cranberry, a little bit of orange zest, and then obviously the flowers here is just to me it's my favorite. The Pommery Rosé, I adore it. And again, the color reminds me of salmon. It's even more delicate than that. It looks like the gum of a whale.
That's very specific.
Let's go. That's what Gabriel Garcia Marquez said about the sunrise in one of his novels. He said, El amanecer parecía la encía de una ballena, the color. Very descriptive, right?
Very.
All right, let's go for the palate here.
Yeah.
Oh, and again, the Pinot Noir shows. When the Pinot Noir is there, Pinot Noir makes its presence felt.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
And then again, like you had with the Brut Royale, here you have at the very end some small notes of citrus, of lemon. You have that acidity that makes you salivate and want, I mean, you can only want that second glass because of this. So
these are dangerous drinks. You can have the whole bottle and not know it. When you stand up, you, oh,
for sure.
Did I have the whole thing? There's so, again, the key to the Pommery champagnes, balance, equilibrium, but I would add something else that is external, that it's imbalance with your labels, and it's pricing. Typically, when you talk about balance, you talk about alcohol, oak, acidity, tannins in red wines. So those things have finish. Those things have to have some kind of harmony and have to have some kind of coherence. But I would add another layer to the Pommery brand, and it's pricing. You guys have not gone crazy in putting your prices at unreachable numbers. And the fact that the one that we're gonna taste next is under $100 is just remarkable. So you are balancing pricing as well.
Exactly. That's the philosophy of the house. We are one of the major champagne players out there, but our philosophy is champagne for every table. So it was important for us to be out there to have a luxury product, still at a certain price, but closer to affordable champagne so that everybody can enjoy the passion that we've put into those wines.
Great. All right, let's get into the last one. And this is a very dear, the Grand Cru. I mean, there's the vintage champagne. This is a 2009. As I told you, 2008. Year I got married. I bought several bottles and they're resting in a secure place, actually very near to where we're sitting down here because I have a personal private cellar here at the store. And those are wines that hopefully, if I'm granted health and a long marriage, it's going well. Fortunately, I'll be able to drink with my wife for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Tell me about this particular bottle and tell me about the boxing, the new boxing. Sarah showed me. It's spectacular. Touch on those things. Touch on this particular Grand Cru vintage wine and then the new boxing that they showed me.
Yeah, for sure. So the Grand Cru is the signature of the Pommery house. We proud ourselves into this beautiful champagne because it's 7 Grand Cru only, so the most beautiful grapes out there, and it's 14 years of aging into our cellars. For a champagne to be called a champagne, you need, by the appellation, a minimum of 15 months. So can you imagine that we took that champagne and we took that bottle and let it sit in the cellar for 14 years because we thought this is what was needed to create perfection. The blend here is 50% Pinot Noir, 50% Chardonnay. Amazing ambivalence between those two. It creates a real difference between what you feel in the nose and what you have on the palate. Of course, with all those years of aging, the oxidation is here, so you feel that bakery. If you close your eyes, maybe you can even imagine that you have croissant near you. In a bakery in France, you have those bakery notes, absolutely fantastic. This is the perfect champagne for pairing with fine cuisine and gastronomy.
It's so rich and explosive on the nose, but not explosive in an pardon the word, in a pornographic way. There are wines that are just pure fruit, pure oak, bombastic, hedonistic. This is Pavarotti. It's a big voice, but it's so elegant, right? It's massive, and then the minerality, like you can smell it from a couple of centimeters apart from the actual glass, and the stone fruit, and the oxidative component to it that You said croissant. Sometimes it reminds me of some nutty note, salty. I love sherry. I love the wines from
Yeah.
southern part of Spain, and they have this quality, this flinty minerality to it, like a matchstick note to it, and then you can literally smell the salt here of the stones, the soil is gorgeous, and then on the palate, it's rich, it's layered, but it's never sweet, nor is it chunky. It has cutting acidity. This is a champagne that will age decades, will easily last 50 years. And tell me a little bit about the 2009 vintage, because I know 02, 96, 08, the one that I mentioned, were spectacular. Anything that you can share for the audience about 09?
Unexpected. We call it at Pommery the gift from the God.
Oh, really? That's a big term.
Absolutely. It's a big term because we did not foresee the harvest to be this beautiful.
Okay.
And then
especially coming after 08.
Exactly. Usually when you get a year like 08, it doesn't replicate in like quite some time. Yeah. But then 09 came and was absolutely stunning. We had the sun here and to create those beautiful grapes. And so really unexpected, but a beautiful vintage.
These are fantastic, Pauline. I am so happy that I got to meet you, that I had the privilege of having you here on the show. And I can only tell my audiences from the sort of 20 plus countries that we reach now, hopefully we'll continue to grow, to seek out Pommery. These are fantastic champagnes. Let's touch a bit, if you don't mind, about Louis. Is that the tête cuvée?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce that?
Tête de cuvée.
Tête de cuvée.
But do you actually know what it means?
What does that mean? I don't know. I am an attorney. I am a licensed drunkard.
I'm so happy that you asked this question, though, because tête de cuvée and the principle around the process around it was actually invented by my father.
What?
Exactly. Yeah. No. So here in the US, tête de cuvée is used to refer to the prestige cuvée of the house.
Yes,
like
yes.
Most beautiful champagne.
I've been reading this 20 years, and your father created this concept. Oh my God!
Because actually, tête de cuvée is a process to separate the juice coming out of the press. So when you press the grapes, the first juice that comes out of the grape, when you start pressing it, the first drops, these are called the tête de cuvée.
In Spanish is el mosto madre, mother juice or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the one that has the most fruit, the most aromas, the most beautiful technically. And so with the first winemaker of our family house that I was mentioning before, they decided to separate and make a champagne only with those first juice. And hence they were audited and they created the whole process of having a tête de cuvée champagne, which was made only from those first drops, those first free-run juice. And so they put that on the label, and it's now fully regulated in Champagne.
What's your father's name?
Paul.
Paul. Pauline.
There
Paul.
you go. Yeah, he was the one that named me at the city hall.
Okay.
So there we go. You have Paul, and then you have.
Hopefully,
Pauline.
Paul will get to listen to me. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for this beautiful term. I love it. Is tête comes from the mother's breast? Where does it come from? The word tête.
Tête is a French word that means head.
Head.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's the head from the cuvée, and the cuvée is because you have the word.
What comes first?
Yes.
So the head, the baby, when it comes out of the mother, comes first. Because in English you have free run, that doesn't need much press, and then you say mosto madre in Spanish, and then I thought it was like a mother feeding a child, and that it came from there. But this is a nugget of piece of information that I will be able to tell. I will tell my friends that I learned this from the daughter of the man who created the term, and I will not be lying. And I have this recording as proof.
Yes,
because we attorneys have we have this reputation of being liars. Okay, so Luis is We touched on Tête de Cuvée. Tell me a bit about Luis, because I know a lot of collectors out here love Luis. What can you tell me about that specific label?
Remember I told you about that cellar master of Pommery that was the last descendant of Madame Pommery? So he's the one that invented Cuvée Louise. So he wanted to pay tribute to his grandmother, Madame Pommery, whose name was Louise. And so he created a champagne out of only 3 Grand Crus, Avis, Aï, and Cramont. These are the names of the Grand Cru villages that you have in Louise. It's a champagne that is the most beautiful and extraordinary champagne out there. It's one of the most aged prestige cuvées in all of Champagne. Our current release is 2005. So that means that the latest vintage of Louis that we have in the market currently is an 05.
Wow.
It aged for 18 years in our cellar before being released, which is why you have this amazing creaminess to the wine. Of course, again, those bakery notes out there. But what amazes me so much is how fresh it still is after all this time in the cellar. So that's definitely a wine for celebration, for pairing with a dinner, a meal, and the most extraordinary gift you can have.
No, it's amazing. I remember having a description when I had it with my wife last time. It's like Grand Cru Burgundy because of the Chardonnay meets Champagne, and you have that bruised apple with the passage of time and that not oily texture, but an unctuosity. And then the salinity, it's the contrast between weight and linearity and what's the word that I'm looking for? Not acidity, saltiness. It's un perfil when it's linear, but at the same time is rich. It's rich and it's asymmetrical. It's a gorgeous thing. Luis is fantastic. All right, so are you guys working on anything new? Pommery is researching on something. Is there anything that you would like to, tease the audience, perhaps, that you're gonna put out in the market, or just going to? Oh, yeah. Tell me about the packaging of the Pommery Grand Cru. Yes, I forgot about that.
So this has been a signature of the Pommery House for many years now. So we are a family company, and my mother is co-CEO of the company, but she also has this amazing vision about branding, marketing, and design. And she is the one that think every year about the design of the gift box.
She's the co-CEO, but she's the boss of the house.
She's the boss of the house. Of
course. Yeah. Same as in my house.
There you go.
Your father is a smart man. Okay. Happy wife, happy life.
Exactly. Yeah. And so for about 5 years now, we've decided to take Pommery onto a little world tour every year. Every year we go with a new design of the gift box inspired by a famous pattern around the world. So, for example, last year we had the mandala design inspired from Tibet. And this year we're going into Kashmir, so India design, absolutely stunning. They always have vibrant colors and make the most beautiful gift.
They're fantastic. I mean, the boxes I just saw, it's fantastic. And I've seen the others in social media in the past. How long have you been doing it? 2 years now?
5 years.
5 years, yeah.
5 different countries.
And they're collector pieces. I mean, you can have those boxes and store them in your cellar. Thank you, Pauline, for this. It's been amazing. What a privilege for me. Follow Pommery on social media. I believe you have the main account, and you also have a USA account, right? For Pommery?
No, not anymore.
What is the account in social media for Pommery? How can people look you guys up?
At Champagne Pommery.
Champagne Pommery. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you so much. Let me toast with you. Cheers. Gracias. Mi gente linda, ha sido un privilegio para mí charlar con la hija del actual dueño mayoritario de Pommery, aquí en el almacén del vino de Fernández. Estas son unas champañas espectaculares que puedes conseguir en unos precios más que competitivos. Descubran Pommery. Hoy probamos la famosísima etiqueta azul, que es el Brut Royal, que es el invento de Madame Pommery hace muchísimos años, cuando fue la primera en crear un champán brut. O sea, lo removió de esas categorías que antes, en la época digamos, fundacional de la champaña, eran vinos dulzones, eran vinos con mucha azúcar residual, pues Madame Pommery fue quien lo llevó a un grado de azúcar residual de 10 gramos o menos, como lo conocemos hoy en día. Luego la champaña rosada es un espectáculo de elegancia con un color muy, muy elegante, delicado, femenino, y luego en boca mucha intensidad y elegancia. Y el Gran Cru, el Vintage Champagne, el que está ahora en el mercado aquí en el Almacén del Vino, es el 2009, es un espectáculo, se consigue en $83 y para mí es una champaña que se para al lado de una que cuesta 2 y 3 veces su precio. Gracias por escuchar este episodio, compártanlo con sus amigos amantes del vino y recuerden que en este mundo lo importante no es la meta o el destino, sino el viaje y el recorrido. Será hasta la próxima. Gracias por seguirnos. Nos vemos. Este fue el episodio de hoy. Recuerda dejarnos una reseña para que nos ayudes a crecer, suscribirte y recomendarnos con tus amigos amantes del vino. No importa cuán avanzado estés en el recorrido de enamorarte de aquello que decían sobre el vino. Son uvas transformadas en poesía. Aquí hay espacio para todos. Salud y como siempre, dale share. Recuerden que este episodio fue traído a ustedes por Planet Solar y a mi amigo José Luis, a quien puedes llamar al 787-690-6444 para una consulta libre de costo para que pongas las mejores placas solares en Puerto Rico en tu casa y así protejas tus vinos de cualquier interrupción eléctrica. Síguelo en las redes en JLR Planet Solar.